Hi, Cornelius. Frankie, you're looking sharp today. Listen, I gotta see the doc. Something happened over the weekend. I gotta talk it out. If he asks, I'll just pretend I was in the stock room and then you went in. Just head on through. Okay, all right. Again. Dapper. Oh, Doc. I didn't mean for it to happen. Just did. How did you get in? Did Frankie not? I can't help it. I fell in love with another. I went to go see Mom for the weekend. I looked in the backyard and there she was. Oh, her various foliages. So vibrant and green with color. I went to look closer. Oh, the vines on those beans just supple and ready to bear pods with, who knows, 8 to 10 beans in each. Oh, the stalks on those tomatoes, they had rumph. Oh, I don't know how else to put it. I'm in love. I just don't think I'll ever be able to show mine the affection I once have. Yeah, it was a fun running joke, but I've been put to shame. Frankie, I love her more than I think I'll ever be able to love my own. Oh. Frankie, did I not give you his photo so you would recognize him and discourage him from coming again? Yeah, but I was in the stock and then he just fine. I don't know, dog. I'm sorry. We don't want him here anymore. I don't know how much value I'm really getting out of therapy. I think maybe it's just talking it out that helps. Earlier this week when I was at the thrift store, I saw this fabric hanging there and I was immediately excited. A proper, superfine worsted all wool made in England and a fantastic color too. Oh, a sign from heaven. But the piece is not very large. So a couple nights ago, I laid it out. I roughly measured my pattern to make sure there'd be enough on here, and indeed there is. But then I noticed something else. I noticed that there's a bunch of little holes in the fabric. I tried to stitch them closed, but didn't turn out so well. So I figure if these things turn out decently, perhaps there's some sort of a glue I can get. We'll see. I'm going to start on this one side, which has the least amount of holes in it. Got it literally aligned perfectly with the bottom here. I don't think I could get it any closer than that. So if I go the other way, I can maximize this space, go right up to the edge here. For the front pieces, I'm going to flip it around again. And now the final piece. Now, come on now, come on. Oh boy, it's a little bit tricky here. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, easy meow, easy meow. Now this time around I am going to be saving up every piece of scrap because I do not have a lot to play with here, and I'm going to need it for the pockets, the belt loops, and just generally, should I be making mistakes. So that's the 4 pieces ready to go. And now my scrap pieces. So that will work for one. That will work for two and for three. So, and then double that up like that. Being effective with my fabric, I think. Now I'm gonna need more pieces like the pockets and things, but those I'm going to pattern out as I go. I wanna get started. Just like the test pants that I've been making over the course of the last month. I'm starting off with the zipper. But because I actually want these to turn out decently, I gotta serger the raw edges. I'm going to do the same thing on the inside of the leg, or the inside of the zipper there, because this is the right side. All right, measure out where this zipper goes. I'm sergering with white thread, sewing with black thread, and so I imagine what you're probably thinking is, Cornelius, such refined little details. Oh, gorgeous. And I would like to say yes, but truth be told, I didn't check my thread. And I have about this much blue stuff left, which means I have to save this just for the top stitching. Scarcity seems to be the theme for this set of pants. And now I gotta swap out my top thread only here. Because again, I gotta use my resources as effectively as possible. May look back on these days with fondness. And having scarce resources like this is definitely time consuming. So, spoiler alert, chances are unlikely that these pants get done by the end of this video. And also make sure I don't take out too much. I don't want to waste thread here. Just enough for a trim. Oh, goodness gracious. Back to black again. This is going to get exhausting. The zipper slash fly is on and done. I'm going to make a bold claim here, but this is my best one yet to date.
Checking in with corn scrubs.
You know, last week I was quite impressed with the size of these tomatoes, but then after seeing Mom's, oh, I'm realizing that they're just about as gangly and lean as I am. And also, to be fair, I did put them in quite small, tiny little containers, so how are they gonna grow massive? Mom's as well were flowering. They're already starting to prepare to produce some tomatoes. These babes are, well, we're still trying to fill in all these gaps with some more leaves. Develop some of that rumph. Yeah, anyways, let's get back to sewing. I gotta pattern out the pockets now. I'm gonna make them 11 inches tall. So just draw this line out across. Okay, and then I measured my other pants and they're about 7 inches wide. So I'm gonna do the same thing with these ones. I actually gotta double that up. So 14. So then next, I'm gonna grab the front here. Okay, and then follow this curve. And I'm just figuring this out as I go. I'm not quite sure what I'm doing here. Oh boy, yeah, let me hit that fast forward button and I'll figure this out.
Like you might be the guy for me. It's not like me to fall. It's really not my style. It's not like me to be.
I have now figured out the way I'm going to do this. Line up the one side. And so the point here, the reason I'm stitching these two together is because I don't want this lining to show through on the pocket. Sergered to prevent fraying in the future. And then do the same thing on the other side, except mirroring it. Press it down inwards. For the last step in prepping these pockets for sewing on, I'm going to top stitch along here. This isn't really a necessary step, but I figure I want these to be quality pants. I even switched out to white thread for top stitching. And now that these pockets are done, I can attach them to the front. I'm going to pin these in place. Again, I want to do this right. Could this even take 3 weeks to make these pants? We'll have to find out.
And then after finishing this stitch, I realized I had no clue what to do next.
So I seem to have gotten a little ahead of myself. I had to do the old YouTubes to try to figure out how to actually properly sew this pocket. What I want is one of those hidden ones with the open just side slit. So now I have to undo my stitching. Now because I did undo those threads there, I do have to close up the edges so that they don't come undone. Now I got to attach the back piece here apparently, and then I want to do that the exact size as well, right here, and then over to 8, so I have a 7-inch pocket, so there.
Mind you, in between every one of these shots, I was still referring back to that video for directions.
Alright, come on, open up for me, there we go. Repeat on the front half. This is where things get truly terrifying because I'm supposed to do some clipping. You know, like that. And then just circle up like that. I want to. And then curve this down. And then do the same thing on the other side. Okay, that is that. Now, I will actually pin these two pieces together. So, like this, I believe. Yes. Line it up in the front here. Line up my two pocket pieces. I don't want them moving.
I continued to mumble myself through the directions and hummed and hawed and slowly but eventually finished sewing the pockets.
Okay. All right, this is the big test. I now flip it around the right way to see if I did this properly. Look at that. Very, very pocket-like.
Checking in with corn scraps.
This beam plant is the saddest thing ever. Seems my theory didn't exactly hold, or maybe this thing was just too far gone, but last week, that little shoot over here, pod, broke off. So I'm down to just one. But this here is my crown jewel. So I'm gonna trim off the rest of these. They're not flowering. This one's growing a little bit, but that's not gonna go anywhere. Down to the one baby, which looks to me it's gonna have 1, 2, 3, possibly 4 beans, which will put me over the tally of 6 that I planted. So, you know, rose tinted glasses says I came out ahead. I am going to top stitch this a little bit. So first I have to press this out. Okay. Make sure I don't sew it onto the other side. I want to close this pocket up. That would defeat the purpose. Not bad, not bad. For some added strength, what I am going to do is add a little zigzag. I noticed this on my other pants. Right at the top and bottom, there was a slight zigzag stitch, which helps to strengthen the top and the bottom seams here. Repeat at the bottom. And look at that. I am at a thread, so calling it there.
Checking in with corn scrubs.
Since I moved that parsley out a week ago, it seems to have been doing a little bit better, so I'm gonna do the same with this arugula. Put it on the ledge of my window. Now, it'll never be the garden that my mother has, but perhaps by putting it out, it'll help this arugula toughen up. And now, mind you, I have been eating well from it. Not a lot, but I've been eating from it, so I am thankful, but, you know, toughen up a bit in the elements. Get a fresh breeze blowing across it, some more sunlight. I think I'm even gonna move this basil outside. It's rather pale in color, so maybe a bit of sun might help as well.
Hard to fill the holes that you left under my covers for me to go cold.